Hello, everyone. My name is Samantha, and I am here with Laura, and we are Streams of Grace. And we are doing these videos to kind of introduce to the world and our communities a little bit about what we are doing. We recently chose to form this partnership as spiritual directors, and we're just kind of talking about all the things that come along with that. And one of those things has been the idea of retirement, which I think was a big motivator for Laura in wanting to partner with someone. So, Laura, can you talk about that a little bit for us? How did we get here? What is this idea of retirement looking like for you right now?
Yeah, thanks, Samantha. So this is a topic very near and dear to my heart, um, as I'm nearing the next decade in 3 years, and have begun looking at, the Streams of Grace Spiritual Direction organization and wanting to see it continue um, beyond me. It is its own entity now, and it always has been. And so I'm so grateful for your willingness to, pick up the baton and run with it for the next season. And so right now we're in the middle of that kind of this interim season of, both and together. As I'm going to be handing this to you more and more, what does that look like for me? So much of our world, people would retire and not live much longer, and we are seeing a far longer longevity to life, quality of life, health, physical health, mental, emotional, spiritual. And so I've been reading the materials, Bob Buford from the 90s, game time, halftime, game plan, just all these resources. So what are you going to do next? You might have 10, 20, 30 years. And of course, the baby boomers who are just ahead of me, they are retiring, and they're retiring possibly sooner than they might have planned. As you and I are having this conversation, summer 2024, the COVID impact continues in so many parts of our lives. And one of them is people retiring maybe sooner than they plan to. Mm-hmm. And so then there gets to be this gap. And Buford wrote about this, gosh, and he was actually quoting Peter Drucker, the greatest management instructor of our time, talking about, oh, as people retire, there will be all these volunteers to do all this great work. And we haven't really been seeing that in mass as we hoped, so they said. And so I see this and I think, okay, it's coming more and more my turn. And what does that look like? Mm-hmm. And for me, for example, we serve clients through spiritual direction in all the different capacities. And at the same time, what do I do that's truly volunteering? Mm-hmm. And an organization that helped us get Streams of Grace started was SCORE. And so this is an organization, it's actually part of the US government, Small Business Administration. And it is kind of this veritable army of 10,000 volunteers nationwide, of people who don't have to be retired folks, but many of them are because they have the time now. So they come from corporate or nonprofit entrepreneurial experience, and they say, I want to help others. I want to kind of give back, pay it forward, if you will. How can I help others get started in their own business? So they helped me 7 years ago. And so as I was thinking about, all right, what does this look like? Buford's really challenging me. There's got to be something else. And I love spending a lot of time in contemplation, looking at my pond near my home. It's just, can only do that so long, right? So, okay, God, what do you want to do not only in me, but through me? And so looking at SCORE and coming back kind of full circle, saying, I would like to help the next generation, the next people who are looking to start their own organization. And so I've been, busy getting trained in that, and just, I'm in the Chicagoland area, and there is a huge chapter here that I get to join, and just very involved. And they're just, hitting the ground running, of course. And it's interesting. I just got a client referred to me who is looking for support with kind of more of a spiritual flavor to it. And I thought, wow, I don't know what that means in the business world, but I think that's what I get to bring. And the last thing I want to say on this, Samantha, and it hit me a few days ago as I was doing some journaling, what's going on in my life right now. I had entered grad school wanting to help people in the workplace. And I studied human resource management, thinking that would help me do that. It didn't exactly happen right then, but I feel like now it gets to happen. I get to help people who want to start a business. And it is about helping. And yeah, just by definition of who I am and my life experience, I'm going to bring a little bit more of a spiritual, emotional flavor to it.
Mhm.
And those who want that will, I think, seek me out to companion them.
Mhm.
I know some of the tech stuff too, and I can help there as well. So I think it's just being available and trusting again that God, the divine, is going to bring folks to me that are meant for me to companion in this a little different way than I have been for these years as a spiritual director.
Mm. As you were talking, it was really cool to see that basically I feel like you're getting at your retirement plan is to put all of your
Mm,
experience in a basket.
mm,
And you found the place, which
mm,
is SCORE at the moment, who's going to allow you to basically serve out of an abundance of all of your experience.
mm.
And I
Yeah,
mean, that's really special and
yeah.
really beautiful. And I'm so happy for you because I know that all of this brings you joy. You're not
Mm,
doing this volunteer work for the sake of volunteering.
mm,
I know that it's something that's near and dear to you. And so to hear that you get to use some of this HR experience,
mm,
plus all of your experience at Alpha and everything you've done, plus your
mm.
experience as a spiritual director, and you have found this institution that's going to allow you to show up 100% as yourself and
Yes.
be with these people. I mean, that's kind of like a dream, I think,
In-
for a lot of people.
It's so well summarized. Yeah, I see that totally, right? Just taking your whole life experience.
Yeah,
Like nothing is wasted unto the Lord. It's somewhere in the Psalms.
yeah.
And yeah, exactly that. And just sort of this kind of reweaving of a life journey.
Mhm.
Um, it's credible. So thank you for witnessing that with me today. Yeah.
So my next question would be, you have this big goal at the end now, but there's, I believe you said in the beginning, and we've talked about this, 3 years, right? It's kind of like a loose runway. Let's be real. Like nothing
Oh
is like
yes,
once you hit a certain age, you must be done and out. Like I would hope that's not what we're getting at here.
indeed.
But at the same time, there is this 3 years.
Mm,
And so can you talk briefly about like what are some of the small things you're doing every day or every week that
mm,
are slowly
mm,
shifting, I think, or we've used this word reimagining a lot, like
mm,
reimagining what you're doing right now. So those shifts, those small reimaginings, the day-to-day stuff that is
mm.
starting to change a little bit for you in this process.
Yeah, thank you. So just a word about this kind of concept of transition, this 3 years. Um, and I think it's that decade. And I started reading a book, as you said, yeah, maybe there's something here. And I'm like, okay, let me research. How do you do this? Like this thing has some energy to it. So now I gotta learn what
Yeah.
the heck it is and how do you do it? And one of the authors I referenced, I think in one of the articles with all this material, he talks about seamless pastoral transitions, which is kind of dream world in the church world,
Yeah.
that we can have this overlap and this passing on of organizational history and passion and compassion. And so that's been a motivator for me. It's like
Mhm.
how to do this well. And that's what I do. I think one of the Enneagram types, if you're familiar with that tool, talks about this, I think the five, which is all about knowledge. Oh, I don't know how to do it. I'm going to read every book there is on it.
Mhm.
So that's part of the preparation. And one
Mhm.
of the things the author talks about in that book, he says, you get into it, and maybe almost every day you think, am I doing the right thing? Is this okay to do? You're like, oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that acknowledgement of these are normal feelings. And like, of course, duh, but seeing it written out was very encouraging for me. So
Mhm.
I sense, Samantha, almost everything that is drawing me right now is about transition.
Yeah.
and those tumultuous feelings. And we know this, so many of the clients who come to see us in spiritual direction are coming because they're in between. They're in that so-called liminal space, which is at the very least uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And we generally don't know how to do it well.
Yeah.
And so we're just looking for a lifeline. And so I feel like that's constantly what I'm doing. And just that consoling, especially again, as we're talking here in the middle of 2024, just the wackiness of this world. It's like,
Yes.
is this stuff really happening?
Yeah.
And so looking for the stability, even as we're in between.
Yeah.
And knowing that, oh, there is a sacred stability that holds us all, even as we're spinning and making changes. There is this ground that we can stand on.
Yeah. It's been really cool to be a part of for me. So I am not at the age of thinking about retirement. I am at the age of really feeling like I'm transitioning myself too. Like I have two little kids that I have spent the past 9 years staying home and taking care of them. And they are independent enough now where I can reclaim a little bit of my time back for myself. And so you're transitioning into what we're going to call retirement. And I'm transitioning into working again. And so the fact that we're doing this together
Yeah.
is just so beautiful to me because we are technically both dealing with the same base things, but the motivations are very different. The end goals are very different at the moment. And so, but it's really amazing to see how it fits together. I don't feel like we're fighting each other, which is really nice. Like there's no tension in that, And so there is something to say about this seamless transition, right? There's something to say about the goodness of attempting it.
Yes.
Even if it doesn't turn out how you imagined, this 3-year runway, I would agree, I haven't seen it happen much, and normally we transition out of, something coming out of the blue and surprising us, right?
Yes.
There is no surprise here. And so we're giving each other the space to figure this out and to hold those tumultuous feelings that hit us out of nowhere. Like, what the heck are we doing? I'm scared. I'm excited. Wow, is this good? But we don't have to we don't have to sort through those feelings in 2 months or 2 weeks, right? We're sorting through them in years. And so now that I'm experiencing this is how I want to do it from now.
That's so beautiful.
I choose this way over and over again now, I think. And so I guess one of my hopes would be that our small little video here at least allows people permission to think like this. Sometimes we're not allowed the luxury of a long transition. That's just not how life works, right? But in this moment, we have been able to choose this. And so I thank you for your foresight and your self-awareness. I mean, this has been 5 years almost now for you, I think, starting to allow yourself to think this way. And so I'm just so thankful that I get to be a part of it and see it and watch it and be with you as you figure this out. So thank you so much for that. And thank you everyone who has listened to us. We will be doing a couple more videos after this. The next one I think is going to be really straightforward, very step-by-step of how we decided to form this partnership. Previous to this, we have recorded 2 more videos if you want to check those out. I know they're going to be up on YouTube and all of the socials. So Laura is our tech guru when it comes to these videos. And so we thank her for understanding how to do that. And until next time, we'll see you guys again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Samantha. Thanks, everybody.